Closed captioning for News 12 is brought to you by Kenneth Nugent. From the station that's on your side, this is News 12 First at 5.
A new look for Augusta Tech, but it's not just about image. School leaders say the rebranding will help them serve the community.
And the atmosphere outside the federal courthouse in Brunswick today, much different than the state murder trial in Ahmaud Arbery's death. No protesters, banners, signs, or barricades. It is day one of jury selection for those three men convicted of killing Ahmaud Arbery. They're back in court on federal charges this time, separate from the state murder trial back in October. Jessica Savage walks us through what she's seeing in Brunswick today.
Potential jurors from a large swath of Georgia appeared in federal court today to answer questions about whether or not they can be fair and impartial. Defendants Gregory and Travis McMichael and William Roddy Bryan Jr. also appeared in court alongside their attorneys. The white men are accused of a racially motivated crime and attempted kidnapping in their pursuit of Ahmaud Arbery, who was black as he jogged through their neighborhood and was shot and killed on February 23rd of 2020. All have pleaded not guilty after Greg and Travis withdrew their plea last week. 1,000 people have been summoned for jury selection representing 43 counties in Georgia for this federal trial. The counties included in the summons are Glenn, Liberty, Bryan, Effingham, Bullock, and Chatham, just to name a few. A jury selection is expected to last through the end of the week. 50 potential jurors will be questioned each day until the court can qualify 36 of them. Out of that, 16 will be sworn in as the jury, with 4 of them considered alternates. The trial is expected to begin next week and could last 2 weeks. Reporting in Brunswick, outside the federal courthouse, I'm Jessica Savage.
Now, they are casting a wide net to find an impartial jury. As she mentioned, they're pulling from the Southern District of Georgia, the Federal Judicial District, and that includes parts of Richmond, Columbia counties, and much of our coverage area on the Georgia side.
Taking a look out.
Look at the rest of the week's forecast in just about 10 minutes.
Riley, thanks. A South Carolina school making some changes after hundreds of students staged a walkout on Friday. Students at Irmo High School learning virtually today and tomorrow, and the school is opening a special academy tomorrow to serve its highest need students with behavioral difficulties. Students walked out because they say they're concerned about their safety. There's been a rise in fights at the school as well as claims of sexual assault and harassment.
Our concern isn't for our mental health issues. It's not about us having that mental support. It's about us needing change inside of our schools so that we're not terrified of going to school and walking alone in the hallways each day.
The school superintendent says he cannot get into specifics of any cases of sexual assault, but he says all are taken seriously and all are investigated.
A suspect in Columbia County charged with murder after an investigation into an overdose death. Alex King was only 28 years old when investigators say he overdosed on pills laced with fentanyl back in July of 2020. Now, nearly 2 years later, Colin McGill faces felony murder charges for allegedly selling the fentanyl that led to King's death. District Attorney Bobby Christine and Sheriff Clay Whittle announcing the indictment this afternoon. They say fentanyl is 100 times more powerful than morphine. The arrest setting a powerful precedent for the future.
We will expend resources to provide services to victims while pursuing the dope pushers without rest. We will give the drug dealer no quarter. With a persistent, steadily increasing, relentless surge of prosecutions, your district attorney's office in Columbia County will back the blue. And God willing, prevent more parents from receiving such tragic news.
You can see King's stepfather there on the left. We speak with him coming up on News 12 at 6 o'clock. The charge of felony murder carries a sentence of life in prison. And again, as I mentioned, coming up at 6 o'clock, we will hear from his stepdad about the importance of this arrest and more about who Alex was as a person. North Augusta is looking to take some inspiration from Augusta and bring some murals to the city. At the city council meeting tonight, leaders are set to talk about approving a mural on Georgia Avenue near the First Citizens Bank, right across from the post office. They're also talking about establishing a mural design review board. So, of course, we will keep you updated and show you any new art plans as soon as we can. Former Atlanta Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms taking her next career move. She announced she is joining CNN as a political commentator. In a tweet, she says, as a student, she applied for a coveted program at CNN and did not get in. To now join the team nearly 30 years later is a reminder that a dream deferred is never a dream denied. Crews working on Fury's Ferry Road are closing the southbound lane from Sullivan Hartfield to Colony Drive coming up this week. That road should be back open this evening, but it will close again tomorrow morning at 9 and then reopen at 3 o'clock. That goes the same for the rest of the week coming up through Friday, so be advised if you're heading out that way.
Okay, if you're a dog owner, you probably love your pup. And coming up, how to see if they can stand up to some friendly competition.
And we are still tracking some evening showers, but the rest of the week looking to be on the drier side. We'll have that full forecast next.
Why do so many?
High temperatures, mid to upper 60s Wednesday, Thursday, getting close to 70 Friday into our Saturday. As far as the weekend forecast goes, we will see a temperature drop on Sunday. Can't rule out a stray shower, but those rain chances do look pretty slim for the weekend.
Riley, thanks a lot. Is your pup an athlete? A competitive sport in Aiken gives dog owners the chance to find out. This is called Barn Hunt, and it tests dogs' athletic abilities. And as Will Volk reports, the Aiken Barn Hunt is growing, and they just hosted their biggest tournament yet.
It's a sport for dogs.
Barn Hunt. We love Barn Hunt. Yeah, find it.
They use their natural instincts to find rats.
What? Come on, buddy.
Victoria Tesh came from Hilton Head, South Carolina, with her dog, Poe.
We're a little nervous because we're new to this particular game, so we're a little nervous. But I'm hoping that he can get down there and realize what we're doing. So we're just excited.
This game is different from traditional barn hunt. Instead of looking through hay, they've got to run down a track, jump those hurdles, and try to find the rat. Fastest time wins.
It's a lot of fun. The best part is any dog can do this.
Heather Steinbeck competes with her dog. She's been a part of Aiken Barn Hunt since the club formed 2.5 years ago.
It's just an outlet for the dogs, for their instincts to kick in and do what they want.
Go, boy.
For Tesh's dog,
Go get it.
this game didn't go so well.
Come here. No. Come here.
He ended up in the wrong place, and then when he got to the tube,
Oh, find
he
it.
picked the
One.
wrong one.
Ah, Popo. It went terribly. We didn't pass, but it was fun. We had a good time either way.
And for these barn hunters, that's what it's all about. In Aiken, Will Volk, on your side.
Looks like a lot of fun. Looks like a workout for the owner as well as the dog, too, Mayor.
Yeah, I don't think they said any dog could do it. They haven't met my
Not
dogs.
yours, huh?
None of my 3 would be able to do any of that.
Yours are couch dogs, aren't they?
Yes, couch dogs. They're good at, chewing furniture. They can do that. Still ahead, swimming over 91 years to be exact. That's how old one South Carolina woman is while competing in swim meets over the weekend. How cool is this? That story's next, after a short break.
The live bike.
There really is no age limit on determination. A 91-year-old South Carolina woman proving that to be the case by competing in swim competitions at her age. A club in North Myrtle Beach put together this relay of swimmers 75 years and older. Barbara Eisel competed in at least 5 events at a swim meet just this past weekend, gaining quite a following from all those younger people inspired by her drive.
Do what you love, and if you can swim, do, because you can, as I say, do that all your life. It's a wonderful thing to do. You should swim with joy, and you should watch what you eat, and you'll have a long life.
What a great example she is. It is not clear if anyone in the older generation actually broke any records at the meet this weekend, but that's really not the point. It takes a couple of days for the records to be posted, but wow, good for her.
And I sat on the couch this weekend, so yeah, that really puts things into perspective, doesn't it? Augusta Tech is getting a new look. One solution to the staffing problems we've seen across the country is getting people the skills that they need to succeed in the workforce. As our own Sloan O'Cone reports, that's Augusta Tech's specialty, and they want to make sure that message is getting across.
It's It's out with the old and in with the new here at Augusta Tech. They're 60 years into their story, and they say that this is the start of a new chapter. The Look is here to boldly say, with us, this is who you are, and this is where you're headed for years to come.
If you're ready to make a career change, if you want to do something impactful, now is the time to come and do it.
It's time. Augusta Tech's newest tagline. It's also time for a new seal, new logo, and new mascot.
95% of our graduates, when they graduate, they stay in this region. So they're making their homes here, they're raising families. But more importantly, they are those essential workers, our nurses, our respiratory therapists, our auto mechanics, our IT specialists, or cybersecurity specialists. And so this brand really represents that workforce within a community.
The pillar of our community, represented in the smaller portion of the A, holding up the bigger piece, symbolizing how Augusta Tech upholds the Augusta community and economy. That's why Alexis Smith, a nursing student, became a Cougar.
I really love Augusta. Been here for most of my life. I want to give back to what the community has given to me, and I feel like it's time. It's time to make a change. It's time to bring good to the area and just continue to do great stuff.
Their mascot, Alex the Cougar, also had some work done. You may notice a toothier roar as the school sinks their teeth into the next chapter. They hope our community buys into their mission.
I'm glad to see the progress that's being made for the students, as well as for the faculty.
Augusta Tech says you should start to see the new changes within the next few weeks to months while they start to roll out some more swag, get up signage on billboards, refresh old buildings, and put up signage throughout campus. In Augusta, Sono Cone on your side.
Thank you, Sloan. A bill filed at the State House would allow students living in South Carolina to enroll in public schools all across the state without moving. They could also attend another public school in their own district for which they aren't zoned. State House reporter Mary Green now joins us from Columbia. And Mary, some school choice bills have been kind of controversial at the Capitol, but the situation is different here.
Yes, Meredith, that's opposed to some of those other so-called school choice bills that are also filed here at the State House. This school open enrollment bill has some pretty broad support, including from teachers groups and from the associations representing the state's school boards and school administrators. Now, this bill would allow students to enroll in other public schools within the district where they live, or to even attend any other public school outside of their own district.
I see the difference in offering children an opportunity to follow their passion.
While the bill has support, both its backers and lawmakers say they need to figure out how exactly funding would work in these situations. Public schools run on a combination of money from the federal, state, and local governments. Under the bill, the federal and state dollars would follow kids to their new school's district, but it doesn't cover what happens with local dollars, which typically come from local property taxes. This means districts could charge tuition for their non-resident students to offset the fact those families aren't paying local property taxes to help fund the school they're attending. State lawmakers could set limits on how much districts could charge for tuition, or design a mechanism by which schools would get this money from these students or from their home district.
I would also offer that the state should look at ways to potentially mitigate any tuition costs through different state level funding vehicles. But that's going to be one of those details that has to be ironed out as this proposal makes its way through the legislative process.
And currently, this bill does not set deadlines for enrollment periods, nor does it require transportation be provided for those students who are enrolled in schools outside of their own zones. Patrick Kelly says that the Palmetto State Teachers Association would like to see both of these addressed in some potential amendments to this bill. Reporting live from the South Carolina State House, Mary Green on your side.
Thanks for that update, Mary. The bill would allow schools to set capacity restrictions on open enrollment. It would also give preference to certain groups of non-resident students, including children whose parents are active duty military and have moved because of military orders, and also kids who have relocated because of the foster care system.
Well, it has been a
Officers handled the whole thing.
But you still left my child in this car.
A terrifying moment for the girl and her parents, but they're especially upset because the officers did not question the attempted kidnapper, letting him drive away. The Waynesboro Police Department now investigating those officers.
Our Kennedy Harris joins us now live in the newsroom to walk us through this brand new footage. Kennedy, what did the parents have to say about all of this?
Well, the girl's mother says her whole family is still very distraught over this. She says her daughter has been very anxious even to go outside because she just doesn't feel safe. Both parents are still pleading for answers, and here's a look at what happened.
This is the body cam of Officer Ronald Bartlett. The other officer you see is Sergeant Greg Stroud. It's 30 minutes long, but I'll give you a quick recap. Here we see Sam Hendricks before being arrested. This is where he tells officers his daughter is in the truck and his wife is coming to get her. You can see the 7-year-old in the passenger seat. After Hendricks is placed in the police car, officers walk past a man opening the passenger side door of the truck, and Sergeant Stroud walks back into the store. Later, when Officer Bartlett turns around, you see the man holding a puppy and walking away with the girl. About 4 minutes go by and Officer Bartlett gets out of his car and stops the man from driving off with the child. He asks him if he knows the girl and the man says no. So he tells the man not to drive off because her mother is coming to get her. The girl is left with the man in his car until her mother arrives. Chandra Hendricks says walking up to see her child in a strange man's car was terrifying for both her and her daughter.
He should be behind bars right now. My little girl doesn't even feel safe. She goes outside and her poor little stomach just goes to pieces.
And while this case is still open, we've learned this isn't the first time these officers have been in trouble. We'll take a look at their past tonight at 6 o'clock.
Frightening situation there, Kennedy. Glad everyone is okay now. But let's have a live look